There are moments in life when silence carries more power than 1,000 voices. When presence alone commands respect, not through dominance, but through stillness. This is the realm of quiet influence, where leadership is not a loud declaration, but a subtle rhythm, a calm pulse that moves people without force, shapes culture without control, and guides without claiming to lead. We have entered a new kind of reflection here, a series where ideas breathe more slowly, where meaning is distilled rather than expanded. In this space, each story lasts only a few minutes, yet carries the weight of hours. It's for those who don't rush wisdom, but listen to it unfold. And today, we observe a species rarely seen in its natural habitat, the leader who leads by restraint, the one who doesn't chase power, but channels it, the one whose influence begins not with the world, but with mastery of the self. Observe any thriving ecosystem, and you'll notice something remarkable. The most enduring forces are rarely the loudest. The mountain does not boast of its height, nor the ocean of its depth. Their power lies in constancy, a silent assurance that commands all without a single word. Human leadership, too, mirrors this law of nature. The truly influential seldom roar. They don't seek attention through display, they draw it through depth. In every decision, in every pause, their restraint speaks louder than others' ambition. This quiet power is not born from passivity. It is sculpted through discipline, through knowing when not to act, when not to respond, and when to let space itself do the teaching. It's what allows the extreme minimalist to lead without clutter of thought, of ego, of noise. To witness such leadership is to glimpse balance in motion, a harmony where authority and humility coexist, and influence becomes not a performance, but a presence. Step closer, and you'll find that the power of quiet influence does not emerge from authority, but from inner clarity. Inside the mind of a minimalist leader, there is no war between desire and direction, only alignment. Their thoughts move slowly, deliberately, like water tracing the contours of stone. Each decision flows from stillness, not haste. Each choice is refined, not rushed. For them, simplicity isn't a habit, it's a habitat. In a world where many lead through noise, they lead through silence. They do not collect opinions, possessions, or titles to define their worth. Instead, they cultivate emptiness, the kind that allows wisdom to echo. Extreme minimalism, for such a mind, is not an aesthetic but a discipline. It is the art of removing everything unnecessary, every fear, every attachment, every whisper of validation, until what remains is purpose, unshakable and pure. And from this inner reduction arises something astonishing. A leader who influences not because they seek followers, but because their stillness reminds others of what they've forgotten, themselves. In every gathering of minds, a workplace, a community, even a family, there exists a rare individual whose presence alone steadies the room. They do not demand attention, yet attention gravitates toward them. They do not command, yet people listen. This is influence without authority, the rarest kind. It is not enforced through rank, nor maintained through fear. It is earned through consistency of character. Such leaders understand that control is fragile. It breeds resistance. But influence, born of integrity, endures. It seeps quietly into the rhythm of others, like roots beneath the soil, unseen, yet unshakable. The extreme minimalist knows this instinctively. By removing excess of speech, of ego, of reaction, they create space for others to breathe, think, and rise. In their calm, others find their courage. In their restraint, others rediscover reason. They teach not by instruction, but by embodiment, proving that leadership need not echo to be heard. In the silence between their words, entire teams find direction. In time, even the most commanding voices fade. What remains are not the echoes of speeches, nor the signatures on stone, but the subtle imprints left upon the human spirit. The legacy of the quiet leader cannot be photographed. It exists in the decisions made differently because of their calm example. In the lives they steadied, the tempers they cooled, the clarity they awakened. Extreme minimalism, in its truest sense, is this: the removal of one's need to be remembered. And yet, it is this very absence that makes their influence unforgettable. Their leadership becomes a current, moving through generations without a name. It reminds us that greatness was never meant to be loud. That true transformation happens not when people follow a leader, but when they begin to lead themselves. And as the world grows noisier, the quiet ones, those who master restraint, balance, and inner clarity, will shape the next era of wisdom, not by being seen, but by helping others see. Across history, revolutions have been marked by noise, the clash of ideologies, the roar of crowds, the demand for change shouted into the wind. But every few generations, a quieter revolution begins, one that moves not through rebellion, but through reawakening. Today, that revolution stirs again, not in parliaments or protests, but in the minds of individuals reclaiming simplicity. Leaders who no longer measure success by expansion, but by essence, who understand that to influence the world, one must first declutter the self. This is the silent uprising of the extreme minimalist, those who no longer chase visibility, but clarity. Their rebellion is gentle, a refusal to be ruled by urgency, vanity, or accumulation. And yet, this calm defiance reshapes everything it touches: work, relationships, entire cultures. They remind us that leadership in its purest form is not about gathering power, but about releasing what no longer serves. And in doing so, they redefine progress itself, not as more, but as enough. This is how the world changes now, not through the noise of conquest, but through the quiet of consciousness. And so, we leave the world of quiet influence behind, carrying with us a subtle understanding that leadership need not roar to be heard, and that the most profound change often begins within the stillness of a single mind. This is the essence of the series you have joined: brief, distilled journeys into wisdom that can be absorbed in minutes, yet linger for a lifetime. Each episode invites you to slow down, reflect, and discover the power of clarity, restraint, and purposeful simplicity. If this glimpse into extreme minimalism and quiet leadership has sparked curiosity, there is more to explore. Other videos await, offering lessons on mindful living, Stoic philosophy, and the art of shaping your life with intention. Take a moment, breathe, observe, and when you are ready, continue your journey of insight by exploring the rest of the series, where every minute holds the potential to reshape the way you see the world.